Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite comics of 2016. Now, this means I'm counting down my top 5 favorite ongoing series, not my favorite story arcs or like miniseries or anything like that. So yeah, nothing like the Han Solo miniseries, which I loved, will not be on this list because that was a miniseries, not an ongoing series. So anyways, let's get into it, starting off at number 5. Number 5 is Star Wars, written by Jason Aaron, and the art is done by various artists. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's okay, but for the most part, the art in that book is really good. And I really do enjoy this series still. My only problem with it is I still don't think Jason Aaron understands the characters of Han Solo or Princess Leia. I don't think he really knows how to write them or their relationship at all. He's not too good at writing those two characters. Besides that, I love the book. We've got some fun adventures and more Star Wars and expanded to the universe. I love the few issues that we have that are of Obi-Wan's journal, so we get to see some stuff of like what was Obi-Wan doing the whole time while Luke was there on Tatooine, like while he was on Tatooine and Luke was growing up. Why didn't he train Luke? We get answers for this stuff. I think it's really cool, and I love seeing these adventures of Obi-Wan, especially because he's my favorite Star Wars character, so seeing more stuff as Obi-Wan is great. So I love those issues, and even the non-Obi-Wan issues are great, seeing stuff going on, actually seeing some cool stuff with like Dengar and Boba Fett, some characters that we saw a little bit in the movies, but didn't get a whole lot of, and now this stuff is canon too. Like having Dengar and Chewie fight is awesome, and yeah, just this series is really good. It's not the best, like there's no story arc that has blown me away, but overall it's a really good solid series that I love reading. Number 4 is Kill or Be Killed, which is written by Ed Brubaker and the art is done by Sean Phillips. I love this creative team. They're the same creative team that did The Fade Out, which was just an amazing mystery, sort of noir type indie book. And this is a new book, their new indie book, their new endeavor that is very interesting. And this is what I tell everyone to get in the book. I talked about it earlier this year, that when I first found out about Kill or Be Killed. It's so great. It's only 4 issues in, but that's one story arc. We've got one story arc done so far, and I really enjoyed it. And here's the setup for it. This guy has a crappy life. He tries to kill himself, but it fails. Like he tries to jump off a building, he ends up hitting some stuff and slowing himself down, so he doesn't actually die. He just injures himself. So later, this demon visits him and is like, "Yeah, remember when you tried to kill yourself? Well, I stopped you from dying. So you owe me a life for a life. So each month you're going to kill one person for the life that you tried to throw away." And it's like, well, that's a really crappy situation to be in. This guy's life was already crappy. Tried to kill himself, couldn't do it, and now he has to go and kill other people. And to me, that's just a really cool setup, and it's made for a really interesting story so far. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Ed Brubaker is an amazing writer. He's one of my favorite of all times. I love Sean Phillips' art. It fits perfectly with this storyline. And yeah, just really cool setup, really cool story that we got so far. I can't wait to see what the next story arc is all about. And it's my favorite indie comic of this year, and it's the only indie comic on this list. Kill or Be Killed. It's published by Image Comics, and again, written by Ed Brubaker, and the art's done by Sean Phillips. Really good book. If you haven't checked it out, at least go check out issue 1 and see if it piques your interest. Number 3 is AllStar Batman, written by Scott Snyder, and the art is done by John Romita Jr. This book has been great so far. We've got one story arc done, and it was a Two-Face story arc, which I loved, and I really hope he goes for more villains that don't have a whole lot of story arcs. Like, I'm hoping to see a Mr. Freeze story arc next from Scott Snyder. But anyways, it's a Batman book written by Scott Snyder. I don't need to say any more to justify why this is on this list. To me, Scott Snyder is the best Batman writer of all time. He's definitely one of the most consistent writers in the industry right now. Like, you can safely spend your money on a Scott Snyder book and not be disappointed. He's that type of writer, and I love it. He's been so great, and it continues with AllStar Batman. He's still doing great stuff, and I love this first story arc with Two-Face. It's basically sort of like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but with Batman and Two-Face, and a lot more violent, and people are constantly trying to kill him, and that's sort of how it goes. We've gotten some interesting guys show up. KG Beast was in this, and I thought that was awesome, having him be like a formidable foe and showing like how respected he is by everyone, because a lot of people like pitched in to pay his price because he's so expensive. And yeah, just overall, series has been great. I love seeing Batman and Two-Face going on their road adventures. Now this story arc's done, I can't wait to see what happens next with this series. It's been really good, and again, a Batman book written by Scott Snyder. You can't go wrong there. If you're a fan of Batman, then you're probably already reading this. If you if you are a fan of Batman, you're not reading this, I don't know what your problem is. Go read it. The first story arc's done, so you can go pick up all the issues. And yeah, on to number 2, which is Old Man Logan. And this book is written by Jeff Lemire, and the art is done by Andrea Sorrentino. Andrea Sorrentino is my favorite artist currently. I just love his style of art. He's so great. I first found out about him during Jeff Lemire's run on Green Arrow in the New 52, which is an amazing run on Green Arrow, by the way, and I fell in love with his art, and ever since then, he's been my favorite artist. I love his style of art. It's very unique, it's really cool, and I just love the way he draws, and so that part just makes me buy the book. That part's just like, you know what, I would buy the book even if Jeff Lemire wasn't writing. But Jeff Lemire is writing, and he's one of my favorite writers today, if not my favorite. He's definitely quickly becoming one of my favorite writers of all time. He is great. He hasn't been in the industry long, and he's already a legend because of everything he's done. Like, everything this guy touches just is amazing. Just Jeff Lemire has so much talent. He can write anything. He's done so much great stuff, and Old Man Logan is no different. We've gotten some really cool story arcs. In the beginning, it was a little rough. Like, the first story arc I didn't care for. Then after that, it's just been amazing. We got some stuff on the Reavers, which was really cool. We're seeing Logan sort of trying to, find people from his universe in this universe and try to figure things out. We've gotten some really cool parallels with that. We got some interesting flashbacks from the Old Man Logan, from the original Old Man Logan, in that universe. So we're getting to see some more, the origins of that universe and how stuff happened. And when was the actual last time Wolverine used his claws and why? And it's been an amazing story. It's been an amazing series so far. I love it. And yeah, it's so great. Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino are definitely one of probably actually my favorite creative team currently. Actually, it would be Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, and then Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino for my top 2 creative teams currently. Sadly, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank haven't done much lately, but I'm really hoping they go together on a story arc soon. But yeah, this creative team, great. They're great on everything that I've seen them do so far, and Old Man Logan is no different. It's amazing. You should definitely be reading it if you're not. Number 1 is Superman Rebirth, which is written by Peter J. Tomasi. The art is done by Patrick Gleason and Doug Mankey and a ton of others, because this is a Rebirth book, so it comes out every 2 weeks, so they have to go to various artists to get it done instead of just one guy doing it every 2 weeks. That would kill an artist to have to do that. That'd be a lot to do. Anyways, yeah, so those are the 2 prominent artists, though, Patrick Gleason and Doug Mankey, and they do great. I love the art on the book for the most part, and the writing is fantastic, which, going into this series, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do, because when it was announced that Peter J. Tomasi was going to be writing it, I liked some of his work, but he hadn't done anything with Superman, so I didn't know how it was going to be, whereas Action Comics was going to be written by Dan Jurgens, who is a legend in the Superman realm, and he had done some great stuff in the New 52 with the Lois and Clark series, so I was really excited for that series, and I thought that was going to be my main series, not Superman. Then I read Action Comics, the first 8 issues, and it was kind of disappointing. There's some good issues, but for the most part, it was just kind of okay and bleh, and he was retreading some stuff with Doomsday and nothing really interesting at all. And I didn't care for the hero Lex that was wearing the suit, and I thought that was stupid. And the new Clark being in there, I just did not care for that book really at all. To where Superman has been amazing. We got first the introduction to Superman, showing that, hey, New 52 Superman's dead, this is the new Superman. And then we got a story arc involving the Eradicator, which I loved seeing the Eradicator back. He looks very pre-New 52. I love his design. I love the new origin of him, of how he used to be this servant for Zod that was given this list to go and just capture all the life force of these different Kryptonian criminals. And then when Krypton exploded, he captured a lot of the life forces of these Kryptonian people, because there's a lot of bodies, a lot of life forces just leaving bodies as soon as Krypton exploded. And so, yeah, I thought that was really cool, how that was the origin now, and then Superman was able to free all these Kryptonians from their life force so they could go and rest in peace and not be stuck in this Eradicator's body. And I love seeing the father-son bonding moments between Jonathan and Clark, and I really love the character progression that we have here. The fact that if you could look at Superman from day 1 to now, that he's progressed so much. He is now a father and a husband villain. I think that's really cool, and I love Lois in this book. She is fantastic, and just the family aspect to it is great, since Clark as the family man. I think that's really cool, and it's just been a great series. We also got my favorite issue of 2016, which was issue number 7, and this is the best filler issue of all time, and it shows how much I love the characters and how well these characters look. And I'm not the only one to think this. Is pretty much every Superman fan that read the, issue number 7 concurs that it's like the best book, the best single issue of 2016. It's so great. It's just Clark, his son Jonathan, and his wife Lois. They just all go to like the fair for the day, and Clark promises not to be Superman, but someone tries to rob the fair, and he ends up stopping them in like a disguised way, and Lois finds out, and shenanigans happen and stuff. And it's great. I love it. It's such a fun issue, and it's perfect. It's the perfect filler issue, because generally you have these filler issues to where, okay, we just finished a story arc, we're not quite ready to start a new story arc, so we need a filler issue, and then it's just some crap issue that's like, why did you do this? I'd rather have you just take that week off and then continue the story arc. To where here, no, it's a perfect filler issue. It's not connected to anything else, and it's also the perfect starting issue to me, because if you want to know if you're going to like the series, read issue number 7. If you hate it, don't bother picking up any other issues of Superman. If you love it, start issue number 1 and go from there. That's my suggestion for this. But yeah, it's been just a great series. I love it. They've done basically everything I want to see them do so far. The only thing that I want to see Peter J. Tomasi do now is write a solid, like, lengthy story, like a 6 to 7 issue run. Because right now, the longest story we got was the Eradicator story, which is like 4 issues. And besides that, we've gotten a bunch of 2-story arcs, which have been really good and interesting, and I like them and they're fun. But we haven't gotten like a solid, lengthy 6 to 7 issue story arc, which I really want to see, and I hope we get later down the line. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and let me know in the comments below what were your favorite comics of 2016 and why. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.